improve, we need to look at all expenses at the hospital and ensure that we are spending our money wisely.
And part of doing that is reviewing purchase orders from the previous hospital administration. GMH Chief Financial Officer Siva Karupan says he's found a number of purchase orders that simply didn't make sense to him.
So far, I have seen many purchase orders that does not make sense to me. Unfortunately, these were purchase orders that were done sometime late last year. So I basically have no control over it except to maybe cut it out or to stop those services. So we're in the process of perhaps road to recovery in a short while, but it's going to take time.
Among those purchase orders that Karupan has concerns with, $25,000 a year for software that simply generates a form that could be Xeroxed for pennies. Not to mention a significant purchase of equipment that is just sitting collecting dust.
The hospital had committed to buying mammography equipment when we do not have a mammography tech at the hospital, and the hospital is encumbered to spend somewhere around about $100,000 for this mammography equipment. In fact, the equipment is here at the hospital. It's already been ordered since last October, and so now we're at a loss to see what we can do with this equipment.
The equipment was purchased with local funds at a time when the hospital wasn't even making gross payroll and doesn't even have the personnel necessary to operate it. When asked if the mammography equipment could turn into a revenue-generating unit for the hospital, Karupan replied,
"No, it really would not be. It would take many years to cover the $100,000 expense for a mammography program to be financially viable."
Well, that equipment sits and collects dust while hospital officials try to figure out what to do with it. An MRI machine donated several years ago to GMH also sits idle, as it was deemed inoperable when the magnet collapsed. Even though the machine has been broken and unused since December of 2010, the previous hospital management proceeded to obligate funds for a fire suppression unit for the inoperable equipment.
We bought a fire suppressant unit, for example, for somewhere around about $44,000 for the MRI machine that has already been mothballed, and the vendor is now claiming that the fire suppressant unit was custom made for the unit. So therefore, we are stuck with paying $44,000 for the equipment.
Karupan says the new management isn't trying to lay blame, but work to fix the problems of the past and stop the hemorrhaging that's resulted in the hospital losing hundreds of thousands of dollars each year.
And so we're slowly reviewing the inner workings of every department, all the expenses related to the department, and slowly educating the managers there as to make sure that they spend money as though it is their own money rather than someone else's money.